Shot 21 here. We are back in the Jeep today. What are we doing? Well, remember how I was having that transmission issue, or what I thought was a transmission issue? It may have been an issue with the airbox gasket. Took the airbox off and the gasket was torn and there was a bit flopping around. If you've seen these gaskets, they're like a weird Fernco coupling type of deal. If you're familiar with the plumbing industry, there's a metal or a plastic sleeve with an aircraft clamp. The airbox sits inside it. There's an inner sleeve, and that whole assembly fits over the throttle body housing. Now, the way this one is torn, if you didn't seat the gasket correctly, if you didn't seat the gasket correctly, there was no way, it would flip the torn edge up and it could get sucked into the throttle plate, thereby holding it open. So I'm kind of hoping that was the issue. Why it resolved itself when you shut the car off and put it in park, I'm not so sure. But regardless, that is what we think the issue is. Now what I'm doing now is headed up towards the north end of the valley where there's a nice steep hill to climb out of. And I'm going to put the foot hard down, see if I can get her to downshift, and when I get to the top of the hill I can take my foot off and see if she upshifts again. I did a couple other things, including added some tension to the spring on the throttle valve return cable, cleaned the throttle body itself out, cleaned the idle air control out of the throttle body, and hopefully that will solve the issue. The other thing I'm doing is I am trying to test the heater core, because last winter the heater core was not heating worth at all, and so it was a tadly bit nippy in here. Granted, right now it's 50 degrees out, and so that's a little bit of a tricky thing to do when it's 50 degrees out, because it was heating just fine last year when it was 25 degrees out. It just wasn't heating at all when it was 5 degrees out. Right now it's heating fairly decently, but again, the air is warm. So we shall see what happens. And then probably next week's video is going to be the contents of the big black box back here, which hopefully you can see. What is in the big black box, you may ask? Well, that is the winter kit that lives in this vehicle. It is not the entire winter kit, it is most of the winter kit. There are a couple of things that don't live in the box, such as this guy, which we'll get into what that is later, next week's video. Though, as you can surmise, that is probably a portable jump pack. Super handy to have. I use it a fair bit. But we'll get into that later. We'll do a whole video on portable jump packs and jumper cables, because I know there are some people that don't know how to use either, and that's okay. However, I think everyone should have them, one or the other. Portable jump pack is preferred in my opinion, just because you only need yourself. Jumper cables, you need two vehicles, one that runs. Not always something that's available, especially in the winter. But getting sidetracked. As of right now, excuse me, transmission seems to be happy. I did also play with the tension on the TV cable. I think I've got it dialed correctly. We'll find out. It's kind of an art, and mine is not the self-adjusting type on this vehicle just yet. It is the one that you have to manually adjust. So that's a little bit trickier, mainly because I've never done it before and I lost the initial setting. Hopefully the current setting is fine, and we'll find out when we go to do this hill climb. up towards the hill in a minute. The reason I chose this hill is because it's a nice long one. Speed limit on it is 50. And coming off the top, there's a nice straight section, so you can shut a vehicle off if it starts to misbehave. And go from there. I hope this vehicle doesn't start to misbehave, but we're going to find out. And if it does, simple procedure, it's an automatic transmission. You shut the engine off. If this was a standard, procedure would be almost the same. However, as you kill the engine, you would need to put the clutch in. Because if the engine goes off and the tires are still rolling, you could damage something. Or lock up the tires, in which case you don't have any control. Tires need to keep spinning for you to have control. That's something that a lot of people miss. Uh-oh. Of course, the cops are right here. Hopefully they're busy, because I do need to speed for this a little bit. Just a tad. Uh-oh. Someone has probably expired tags on their snowmobile trailer, or the lights aren't working. Looks like the lights aren't working. That's unfortunate. They're going to be busy for a little while. Pick up to 50 here. It is a tiny bit blowy out, as you can hear. But we're at 50. We're just below. One vehicle in front. Steepest hill, but it should suffice for our purposes. I don't really have any nice steep ones around. Okay, we kick down. Kick down is good. Nice hard kick down. And we released. Beautiful. Okay. So it appears problem is solved. I do want to do that one or two more times here, but just have to find a place to turn around. I'm going to this road up here. Driveway up here. But I think that solved the issue. Because we did a nice hard kick down, climbed up that hill, and we came right out when we were supposed to. Might need to tweak the TV cable just a tad, but that won't be a problem. Probably needs to come out just a hair. What I was hoping to be able to do on this hill. that you can do to exercise a transmission and maintain them is on an automatic. Generally, these days on a newer car, it's a little different. Excuse me, because you might have a CVT or constantly variable transmission. But if you have a standard automatic transmission, there's usually a button somewhere on the stock that has an overdrive off. That's fun to play with. You can also manually shift them if your transmission has drive 1-2 options on the column or the shifter, or if you have a Tiptronic transmission, you can use the flappy paddles to shift those. It's not just for when you want it to be sporty, but it can also be used to help you save your brakes, go downshifting on that point. So you have a stop there. I forget about this. But it can also make sure that your transmission is shifting gears correctly. You can put it in first, and oh hey, it jumps down into first. Let's bump her back up into second. It does second. I'm not going fast enough. That might put it back into drive. Nope, it will shift into third. But I have overdrive turned off right now, so it won't go into fourth. So I think this is a 4-speed, including overdrive. It might be 4 plus overdrive. Terminology on these is slightly unclear, but we'll repeat this test once more and see what we can get. So I think our results are going to be fairly conclusive. Problem is solved. The real test will be a highway check, but I don't have to go anywhere on the highway for a while. So this will have to do for now. You know it's warm. Side note, you know it's warm when in November it is still north of 40 degrees. Yes, it's the 1st of November. And the ducks and the geese are still up north. It's a tadly bit warm. Feels like the heat's working fairly decently. We'll hope that solved that. I really don't want to have to pull this dash apart and put a new heater core in. I will if I have to. I've already taken this dash out once. It's actually not that bad. If I have to do it again, I'll take you guys along for it. Takes a couple hours. And yeah, I'll just wait. Oh yeah, look how it's still busy. Again, not that I'm going to break the law too badly, but potential for speeding is there. Beautiful, and an upshift. And the second one. Okay, I think the sticky transmission problem was not a sticky transmission problem, it was a sticky or stuck open throttle plate problem. Keep an eye on your gaskets, folks. They can be a right pain in the butt. Also, a little more attention on the throttle valve return spring. Probably not a bad idea either, but not required. just did that to be safe. Now, one last thing. Some of you may be wondering what the turn I just did was. I've done them twice. It's called the Vermont Turn. It is the only legal way to about face in this state. You cannot pull a Yui, you cannot pull a three-pointer. You have to pull it past a road or driveway, throw your blinker on, back into the road or the driveway, come back to the stop line, throw the blinker on for the way you want to go, and then proceed. Weird, random Vermontness. It's actually not a bad skill to have. But anyways, thanks for coming along. Sorry this was kind of a little all over the place, but I hope I was able to address the initial topic of the video as to why the transmission was being weird and what we did to fix it. Because it turns out it wasn't the transmission, it was the intake. Who knew? Keep up on your gaskets, keep up on your maintenance. Do change your transmission fluid every once in a while. It is a wear item on a transmission such as this one. You're looking at, I think it's a 30,000 mile interval. Just keep an eye on color and level. If you're on a gearbox, a standard trans, your intervals are going to be slightly different because your wear is slightly different and the purpose is slightly different. If you are using a manual trans, make sure you put the correct type of gearbox oil in there. That goes for both types, mainly because certain manual transmission gearbox oils are not friendly to certain metals that are found in certain manual transmissions. And check the spec for the fluid for your automatic transmissions, same thing. They can be unfriendly. And some fluids don't mix well, so just be aware of that, specifically on the ATF side. But thanks for coming in, thanks for watching. Hope this was somewhat informative and gave you somewhere to look if you're kind of stuck like I was. And we'll see you next time, hopefully this Thursday for mini maintenance, because this is going to go out on a Tuesday, so this is my Tuesday video for the week. We'll see you mini maintenance next week, or this week, and then next Tuesday probably is going to be what's in the box. So we'll see you next time. Thanks for coming. Hope you enjoyed. Hope you found it helpful. Sharks out.
Thank you all for watching. I hope you enjoyed. If you did, please hit the like and subscribe buttons. It really helps me out, and it lets you know when I put something new up. New videos will be going up on Tuesdays or Thursdays at 8 a.m. Eastern. And if I do decide to do live streams, I will try to give 24 hours notice. So hit the subscribe button on the channel, and you'll be notified when I post that stuff too. Hope to see you next time. Sharps out.